Well, while temperatures may be receding just a bit, this summer's drought keeps hanging on, and the effects may last even longer. Joining me now is our Keela Kellen.
Well, Rob, according to the USDA, you'd have to go all the way back to the days of the Dust Bowl to find drought conditions as widespread as we have this year. Especially hard hit are farmers in the Midwest Corn Belt states, an impact that the rest of us may soon feel. With temperatures reaching record highs and drought sweeping the nation, prices in our supermarkets may begin to rise.
This is the nation's worst agricultural drought since 1988.
Brad Rippey, a meteorologist for the USDA, points out how the drought is affecting our nation.
A lot of the nation's key agriculture areas. Now, this is especially hitting the nation's farm belt hard, and if you look at the overall drought coverage for the lower 48 states, we see now more than half of the country in drought. But if you focus specifically on the U.S. corn and soybeans, more than 3/4 are now considered to be in an area covered by drought. So the real focus has been across the Central Plains and the Midwest.
And hardest hit is our nation's corn belt. USDA Chief Economist Joe Glover says that corn supply could fall next year to its lowest in nearly 20 years.
35% of the soybean crop, 45% of the corn crop rated poor or very poor. We've seen a rapid deterioration over really 3 or 4 short weeks, such that we're at least the crop is in similar condition to what it was in 1988.
So with a smaller crop and prices rising, farmers will face a higher feed cost, forcing some farmers to head to the sale barn.
As herd sizes cut back, as flocks are cut, you begin to see higher prices in the meat and poultry and dairy sectors, and that ultimately will be, that can take some time to really show up in inflation.
Ricky Volpe says that we can expect store prices to rise.
The most important mechanism by which this drought is affecting food prices is we see the price of corn go up. That drives up the price of feed, and in turn the price of animals that go to slaughter or animal products. We're looking at grocery prices to go up 3 to 4%, which is a range that does not include historically normal food price inflation, which is about 2.8, 2.9%. So mostly owing to this drought, how we have seen it affect crop prices, how we expect it to be filtered into retail food prices, we are looking at 2013 being a year of higher than normal food price inflation.
A struggle for America's farmer that will soon be felt in all of our pocketbooks. Obama visited the Midwest, announcing the USDA is working to offset the debt caused by the drought by purchasing $100 million worth of pork products, $50 million worth of chicken, and $20 million worth of lamb and farm-raised catfish to help livestock producers.
So while this may well help the producers, this is really going to solve the problem.
Well, Rob, Obama did humorously say that we can't make it rain, but this could help farm families. But for the rest of us, this could mean higher prices in the grocery store.
So it sounds like we better get out the pocketbook. All right, thank you so much, Keela.
You're welcome.
Well, while this year's drought is the worst to hit the nation in over a half a century, here in Oklahoma, while it has been bad, our drought conditions actually have been worse. OETA's Cathy Tatom explains.
Fluffy white clouds float over Jonathan Scheffel's Mays County farm. For a long time, clouds haven't brought what his land needs most.
It just seems like we can't get a rain. It just splits and goes around us every time it gets close.
Here, like much of Oklahoma, pastures are bone dry.
It just crumbles under your feet.
Oklahoma Agriculture Secretary Jim Reese says a lack of rain is affecting some, but not all crops.
We are in a drought. We have a lot of areas that are in extreme drought, but in comparison to last year, it really doesn't compare. Last year we clearly had the hottest summer in the history of any state in America, and the driest summer of any state in America. So to compare that with this year, it's really not comparable.
The drought of 2011 started in the fall of 2010 and didn't let up in most parts of the state until early 2012. It devastated 2 of Oklahoma's major agricultural industries, cattle and wheat. This year, drought didn't set in until early May, sparing the wheat.
Wheat crop was excellent this year, the best wheat I've ever raised in my life. We had 60, 70, and I heard of 80 bushel wheat. Never heard of that in Mays County. And basically, I think because of the dry winter that we had.
But this year, drought is once again taking a heavy toll on cattle. Sheffel's pastures are so dry, he's already feeding hay.
Right now, these cows here are eating a bale a day.
In 2011, drought conditions were so severe, many areas of the state had no hay crop at all. Sheffel's grateful he was able to bale some hay this year, but he's worried about using it this early.
We've got enough hay to make it through the winter, but if we could wait till winter to start, but starting feeding now, we're going to be in trouble.